Patrick Wilson is a actor, leading man. He's a director and also a lead singer. All that and more coming up in this video. Insidious, The Red Door, also known as Insidious 5, is the fifth entry, obviously, in the Insidious series, directed by Patrick Wilson and written by Scott Teems. Now, for those that don't know, Patrick Wilson, he's a strong leading man for the last, 15, 20 years. I kind of call him a Scream King due to all of his appearances in the Insidious franchise, the Conjuring franchise, among many other films. This is kind of a direct sequel to Insidious 2. However, it does take place probably, I think, 9 years later in the thing in the film. I'm going to pretty much do a non-spoiler review with little hints here and there as far as what I think. Ty Simpkins, he plays Dalton as a college freshman. He's also the same actor who portrayed Dalton in the original Insidious 1 and 2 movies. Overall, I really love the Insidious franchise. James Wan directed the first two, I believe, and Lee Whannell directed the third, and Lee Whannell created most of these characters. I love Lee Whannell as a storyteller and a filmmaker, so I came into this with fairly high expectations. I just wanted to come in, have some good scares, and, just go back to the Insidious, universe and kind of go deeper into the further, which is where they do their astral projecting into this afterlife-ish other dimension. One of my favorite lines from the movie is there's an art professor that Dalton is seeing for school, and she says the balance of light and dark is what we're after. And I feel like that's really telling for the entire movie as itself, because as much as it is dark and it does have some super dark moments, it's got some humor in there that doesn't feel forced, which I liked, and it also has some lighter moments centering on the family and stuff that I really enjoyed too. So it was a perfect balance of very dark topics, which is most of the movie, don't get me wrong, it is a horror movie, but it does have some light moments of humor and family, I'll call it family tenderness, if you will. Two favorite performances of the movie are Ty Simpkins, who plays Dalton as the college freshman, and then Patrick Wilson as well. Both of them are really strong, actually, surprisingly. Not surprisingly, but Patrick Wilson, I love as an actor. But Ty Simpkins, he's a child actor in these movies 10 years ago or whatever, and now he's stepping up now, as a younger adult guy. And he pulled it off. He was very convincing as a traumatized, kind of introverted college kid. And I really enjoyed both their performances. There's another performance by actress Sinclair Daniel, who kind of plays like a comic foil for Ty Simpkins in the college setting of the movie, and she's hilarious. She's like a really funny person. She's given like gold to work with as far as the writing, and she pulls it off really well. Patrick Wilson has been an actor for, I think, going on like 25, maybe 30 years now. He's done indies, big budget, Hollywood movies. He's done it all. This is his first time taking the director's chair, and you really couldn't tell like that it was his very first time up. I bet he did amazing. The movie transitioned well. It's edited well. It kind of flows really nice. And one thing that I really appreciate about movies is there's not any like fat on it. There's no scenes that I think are unnecessary. I feel like all the movies or all the scenes in this movie are pretty necessary, and if not super necessary, very entertaining with jump scares. Speaking of jump scares, this movie does have a few, but doesn't feel like forced. There's some, cheaper, not cheaper in the sense of money, but just cheaper feeling horror movies where it feels like all they're doing is kind of just trying to get the jump scares out of the way and the story kind of lags. This, I feel like the story is strong and the jump scares are really fun and very scary. Light, quick spoiler for this little part that I'm about to mention. We see some of it in the trailer, so if you don't want to know about it, just skip 30 seconds or so ahead. My favorite scare of the movie is when Patrick Wilson, he's getting like this brain scan done, and he has to go into this machine, and the lights start to flicker, and then I think it's the first time he's starting to realize he can go back into the further, and a little ghost guy like comes at him from the top, and it's just super good. It's super effective. I really liked it too. I saw it in a fairly full audience at the theater on opening night, and it got the audience pretty good too. That was pretty fun. Joseph Bashara is back to do the score for the movie. He's scored, I think, all the Insidious films thus far. This will be his first entry. Very good score. Very appropriate just use of score in the jump scares and just in the movie in general. He knocked it out of the park. He was also back as the red lipstick demon, and I loved his performance. He gets they updated the makeup just a smidge to make him, I think, look a little bit more decayed or a little bit more sinister, and it was really well. I love both his score and his performance coming back as the red lipstick monster or demon in this movie. This is supposed to be the last time that the Lambert family is featured in this Insidious movie. We'll see if that sticks true, but I was really happy with the ending. It had a very hopeful and resolved ending, which sometimes, in horror movies you can go either way. Sometimes I just want to end with a big bang and a big scare, or I do want to end with maybe more of a hopeful ending. Since this is the final film, we'll see for now, for the Lambert family, I was happy in the way that they ended it. I don't want to spoil too much for you, for those of you that want to see it, but it's a very good ending, I thought. Lastly, I want to talk about Patrick Wilson. So he is one of the main leads in this movie as an actor. It's his first time up at directing. And then the movie ends, and you're like, okay, this was a really good movie. You're feeling good about it. And then the song starts playing during the scroll, the end credits scroll, and it's a very slow, like somber song. And you're like, wait a minute, that voice sounds vaguely familiar. And wouldn't you believe it, it's Patrick Wilson singing in a collab with the band Ghost. I love Ghost too. One of my favorite bands that are active right now in the world. And yeah, so it was just really funny that Patrick Wilson does a song with Ghost. He's directing his very first movie, starring in the dang thing. He's having quite the release with this movie. I don't want to hype it up too much, but overall, I would give this movie 4 skulls out of 5. 4 skulls out of 5 for me. It's pretty high up there, but I really enjoyed this movie. I had a good time. Like I said, there wasn't a dead part of the movie that I felt was like wasting time in the movie. Strong acting performances, decently strong. I mean, considering great score, really good story, and it stuck the landing for the ending too. And yeah, that's kind of where this movie falls for me. 4 skulls out of 5. I should be opening at the time of this video dropping. Should be opening weekend, so if you guys haven't seen it, go out and see it. It's definitely one of my recommended watches. And I'll end this video with the cheesiness of telling you to please like and subscribe to my channel. Please rate this video, share it with your friends, any fans of Insidious, or just horror movies in general. Feel free to follow me at Kent of the Dead on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and even TikTok. We're going to have a really good time watching horror movies, talking horror movies, and all that good stuff. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time.